So you're thinking about making the step of starting your own business as a vendor in an antique collectible vintage mall. There's going to be a few things you're going to want to consider before you make that decision to grow your business to the next level. First thing you're going to know is you know your business, whether it's your products that you make, the products you find. A lot of our successful vendors start out doing flea markets. They also will go out and do stuff on marketplace. It's a good thing, especially if you're making your own products, to see what feedback is. Is your pricing fair? Does your pricing make sense for what you're putting into the item? Um, that with a combination of eBay and Etsy and stuff like that will really help hit that point home. Being a vendor in our malls is more like a co-op than it is a consignment. Consignment places are where you take your item, they mark it for you, they sell it for you, they charge you 30, 50, 60%. Here, you're renting space from us. So you'll be renting space at like $2.75 a square foot here at our Clyde Park location, $2 to $3 over at a 28th Street store. You bring your shelves in, you manage your booth. Successful vendors will come in at least once to twice per month. If you're the kind of vendor that just wants to put your stuff in there and disappear, this would not be a successful venture for you. You have to stay committed. Part of that is refilling products when they sell, filling those shelves back up, rotating products. You know, if an item might not have sold like you thought it would have, or it's the end of the season, you're pulling Christmas stuff, you bring stuff in for the new year, you always have to be looking at this as a part-time job. The bigger and more space you get, the more of a job it will become to you. And then the other end of that is you got to know your products and your pricing. You can't put $30 on an item and bring it into our mall for the same item that someone can click on eBay and get it shipped to them for 16 bucks. People come to malls looking for value. They look for fair pricing. They look for deals. So you got to know your products. You got to know your margins, and you got to know your pricing as well, along with being committed to your booth or space, whether it's a showcase or a booth space, and also being committed to coming in and rotating products so your booth looks fresh and straight, and just, you know, moving stuff back into different places so it has a new vibe. You just can't abandon it like someone going off to the war on a train station. You have to be committed to your booth and treat it like a true co-op or a true business. With our malls, we use Go Antiquing. So when you sell something, you'll get an email alert. We also use Go Antiquing to send out other important information to the malls and the operations that we do as well. Once again, you got to treat this like a business. This is your shop. Think of an antique or collectible vintage mall like Rivertown Mall. Each business runs itself, and you have the mall that runs the whole operations. That's what you're looking at here. You're going to have to be the vendor that comes in and checks their items and straightens up the shelves and brings more product in and fills space. You're also going to have to be the type of vendor that, you know, puts items out on social media, lists things on marketplace, hands out flyers for your booth when you're at shows and stuff. Treat this like an actual business, and that's how you'll be successful in this type of business. No one's going to know your products and your business better than you. So that's why we want you to be placing ads. We also want you to be doing marketplace, cross-promoting with Etsy, or selling stuff on eBay, and when you go to shows, mention your booth, because that will benefit you. You know your items, like Scott with his records here. He knows what items he has. He knows what else he can bring in. He can do a lot better detailed information in representing his business here than us. While we would love to work with you on placing ads, doing posts, social media stuff, we still need the co-op and a partnership for you to be successful, for our mall to be successful. When you're in a mall like this, either Wally's Castle, Wally's Treasures, or any other vintage malls out there, you want to set realistic goals. Realistic goals should always be what your sales are on an average every month versus rent. Common industry standard that we look for and you should look for is a 3-to-1 ratio. So if your rent's $100, you should be averaging $300 a month in sales. That's one of the best ways to be profitable in this type of business. If you can't average that, you gotta look at your products, you gotta look at your pricing, look at maybe getting more space. Realistic our goals and aspirations is what will make you successful in this business. You're not gonna be able, for the most part, to rent a $70 showcase from us and expect that I should be doing $1,000 a month. Realistically, you should be looking at 3-to-1. Whatever space you're renting, your goal should always be 3-to-1, and making sure that your margins make sense and you're making profit on those items, because you are, after all, running your own business. and all successful businesses should be making a profit at the end of the month. Here with vendor 747 Swell Time. Scott, how often do you come in and take care of your booths at the mall?
At least once a week.
At least once a week.
Sometimes twice.
Sometimes twice. Thanks, Scott.
You're welcome.
I'm here with Peggy, vendor 4222. Peggy, how often do you take care of your booths here in the mall?
I probably come here twice a week.
Twice a week. Thank you, Peggy.
You're welcome.
I'm here with Queen Bee's Nest, Marcia, vendor 143. Quick question. How often do you take care of your space here in the malls?
At least 3 times a week.
3 times a week. Thanks, Marcia. I'm here with Scott, vendor 154. Scott, one question for you. How often do you come in here and refill your showcases and take care of your booths?
Once a week at least.
Once a week. Thanks, Scott.